Hi, Pollywogs. This is Teacher Kara. We are going to be doing a quick story time about Passover and what we're celebrating. All right, here we go. So the first Passover happened a long time ago in a faraway country called Egypt. There was a mean and powerful king called Pharaoh who ruled over Egypt. So this is a picture from Egypt. These are the pyramids, and this is a picture of Pharaoh. The Jewish people worked as slaves in the land of Egypt. They worked very hard. Every day from morning until night, they hammered and dug and carried heavy bricks. They built palaces and cities and worked without any rest. The Jewish people hated being slaves. They cried out and asked God for help. God chose a man named Moses to lead the Jewish people. Moses went to Pharaoh and said, God is not happy with the way you treat the Jewish people. He wants you to let them leave Egypt and go to the desert where they can be free. But Pharaoh stomped his foot and shouted, No, 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 I will not let them go, which is a song that we're going to be learning later. Moses warned Pharaoh that if he didn't let the Jewish people go, terrible things called plagues would come to Egypt. But Pharaoh wouldn't listen, and the 10 plagues arrived. So some of the plagues were frogs and wild animals everywhere. Balls of hail, which are over here, giant pieces of ice, fell from the sky and ruined crops, which is what people eat, what they're growing, and their houses. And locusts, which are down here, a kind of bug, ate all of the Egyptians' food. Every time a new plague began, Pharaoh would cry, Moses, I'll let the Jewish people go. Just stop this horrible plague. But as soon as the plague went away, Pharaoh would change his mind. So then God would send another plague. Finally, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh ordered the Jewish people to leave Egypt. The Jewish people packed very quickly in case Pharaoh changed his mind again. They didn't have enough time for their dough to turn into bread. They were only able to make a flat cracker-like bread called matzah. So you can see them carrying their little matzahs with them out of Egypt. So in real life, this is what matzah looks like. This is some that you can buy in a store. It's already made. And then this one is a homemade matzah. So you can see it's a more circular instead of a square like this one. So we're actually sending home a recipe so you can make your own matzah at home. And I think it's probably going to look a little bit more like that one. All right. So after the Jews left Egypt, Pharaoh commanded his army to chase after them and bring them back to Egypt. The Jews had traveled as far and as fast as they could, but they came to a giant sea, an ocean, and it was too big for them to go around and too far for them to swim across. So the Jewish people prayed to God, and a miracle occurred. The sea opened up, and there were 2 giant walls of water with a dry, sandy path between them. So the Jews were able to run across to the other side, and as soon as they reached that land, the water fell and covered the path so that the Egyptians couldn't follow them. So they were now safe. So now every year at Passover, we eat special foods, sing songs, and tell the story about Passover in something called a Seder, which we are going to learn about more this week. So this is a special meal that helps us remember the journey from slavery to freedom. So this is called a Seder plate. It's something that we use at the Seder, and this says Pesach in Hebrew in the middle. And these different foods stand for different parts of the Seder. So we're going to be talking about that, I think maybe tomorrow. All right, so thanks for listening, Pollywogs. We'll see you soon.